Hi, I'm Harri Ketamo, founder of HeadAI, and as a company, HeadAI is developing cognitive AI engine for supporting sustainable economic growth. And today, it's more like sustainable development goals and green transition, namely EU Green Deal program. And as I assumed in the very beginning, SDGs has been already introduced. Thanks, very good. So I save some 5 minutes on this. Let's go to topic. Quite big challenge for us globally is that we have to upskill 5 billion people in next 10 to 20 years. And upskilling doesn't mean that they are going to get new degrees, sorry for universities, they just need skills. But the number is huge. But the problem is not just the volume, but what are the skills and why? And those are more or less also political decisions, and that's why we have to understand the goals on the long future towards what we are upskilling. Because upskilling needed, AI coming, data coming, green energy coming, but the direction. And now it's time to tweet. Top lists are worth nothing. So in everywhere you see that in order to be work-life compliant next year, you have to learn this, and this skill. That's a big lie. And that's basically my presentation point. So as a company, we are building graph machine learning based engine, which learns which can model natural language text to mind maps. And mind maps like we human build mind maps. Sounds very easy in the very beginning because even 6 years old people can draw mind maps. But when we think it a bit deeper, it's challenging because first of all, we have to be able to recognize the main concepts of the paper. If we get A4 in front of us, draw a mind map. Main concepts, how they are related, what other concepts are in the paper, how they are related to main concepts, and then the most difficult part, how we can bring those concepts that are not mentioned or are hidden in between the lines in the paper. And that's the, challenge. And another challenge is that the concepts are quite rarely written exactly like they are. Like, for example, nuclear safety. What comes to energy. Quite often it is some sort of safety procedures in nuclear power plant, safety and security in nuclear activities. So finding exact word is almost impossible. Even in only in isolated environments such thing works. In real world, it's way more complex. And now coming to what we really do. Short term, mid-term, long-term simulations and foresights to different kind of skill work related activities. And one of my first examples is short-term prediction. In Finland, we have a universal military service, and the skills you learn during the service are essential for our labor market. We have recognized it a long time ago, but we haven't made that measurable in fact before. And we could show that skills what you learn are very relevant from labor market point of view and in fact from further education point of view. Not necessarily in university degree, but applied university level, 3 to 6 month skills you have learned that you can, be compensated when you go to study. But that's one thing, and this is based on short-term prediction. Another short-term prediction, what we've been running is with World Bank in Africa and Southeast Asia, how the universities should improve their curriculum, and especially universities of applied sciences and higher education and institutes, not necessarily research institutes, but how they should improve their curriculum in order to fill the labor market need, the gap, and now especially the skills. Not the job titles, not the course titles, the skills. Or Business Finland. In Finland, we are short if I drop some number, anything goes between 10,000 and 100,000. We are short in talent in Finland. And Business Finland do have an activity called Talent Boost, and we have built a simulation tool that what is a shortage in Finland, in what skill. And now it's not a job title, it's a skill. So what we are short in what skill, and from what country we can find that skill or that skill cluster enough in order to run activities on those countries and try to recruit foreign talent into Finland. So we have a lot of foreign talent here right now. In Finland, we are short. Consider to coming to Finland. Green Deal. European Green Deal or green transition is a quite big program, including a lot of activities that should turn Europe carbon neutral in 24 or 25, or at least close to that. And the challenge is that it's really wide, and even for big corporates, it's sometimes challenging to grasp on what we should do except doing green energy. And that's why we have tried to build simulation tools, forecast tools, how this affects to somebody's business, what is the context, neighborhood, what we are talking about. And this is a midterm prediction, because this is like 3 to 5 years prediction. I'm going to sustainable development goals a bit later. But one example, what we have done with, for example, with Wärtsilä, the Finnish quite big energy corporate, we have built different scenarios. What was some topic earlier, like decarbonization studies 2016, how it has evolved year by year in this example 2020. Then showing the gap or change. Here I have only in green the topics that has been studied in 16 and 20. In red, there are topics that has came during those 4 years, and with blue, topics that has disappeared from the research, and those are like palm oil. So a lot of new topics, energy sector, how it affects the company strategy and human resources strategy. Very simple example is that when we find a gap in our side, so something that is close to green, we have to bridge the gap. What courses can we pick from university offering? Because, well, exactly the same method what we read different policy documents, military documents, we can also read curriculums and compare that if we are short in this kind of skill set, what courses can fill the gap, and from what universities they can do the training. So from corporate point of view, they know how to train the people, what skills, and where they can get the training. So not necessarily buying the most expensive consultants, because in the local university they have pretty good courses on the same topic. Okay, time is running and have to check if I'm late. Not yet. Sustainable development goals, the long-term predictions. Aiming 2030 change. Not going to explain again what SDGs are, but the challenge what United Nations has noticed that SDGs are quite high level set, even with 169 more detailed, well, they are not goals, but sub-goals. And they are quite fuzzy set. And taking them into action is something that is very challenging, because in many places SDGs are some sort of isolated island, which is, yeah, we are doing this sustainable stuff, but here is our business. But they should be together. And that's why we have built a tool we call Sdc Scorecards. And this is a way how different organizations can compare their documentation against sustainable development goals. Algorithm checks, transfers everything to mind maps first, and then compare how they are similar, how they are matching. What is the, let's say, low-hanging fruits, areas what we already do, but haven't mentioned in the documentation, so most likely we either do it or on purpose we don't do it, and then what is far out. And the idea is not to greenwash. The idea is rather show mindset. So what is our documentation mindset? Here we have one infrastructure project, environmental report, score on the mindset of the reporting, and also showing what is missing. I walk these through. There are different cards, like for different goals. And the idea of these cards is to check that we are continuously doing better for the next version of the report, and also enabling sort of strategy process or key performance indicator selection, that what we're really targeting. And then we are not focusing. So if our target is goals 9 and 11, we not get stuck to goal number 4, education, if we are doing bad in that, if our focus is somewhere else. So making sure we do the right progress. And in short, how this would work in research or education side, because I think most of the audience comes either research or education. This is very simplified model of goal number 7. So the key concepts, key topics, very, very high level topics, what are mentioned in goal number 7, affordable and modern energy for all. Here we have, with exactly the same level of details, one micro degree on energy from one Finnish University of Applied Sciences. So only the key topics, what they are teaching. The score is now computed in a way that the green cells are something where the topics are matching. And now the topics doesn't mean that they are written exactly the same way, but the meaning is the same. And only 6 topics are matching. So the score still is quite good because those are quite relevant topics. The red cells are topics that are mentioned in the Sustainable Development Goals, but not mentioned in the micro-degree program. And those are maybe the low-hanging fruits that if they want to do a slightly better next time, they include these topics into curriculum, and well, then they do better. So this is mindset. Of course, teacher might cheat and write all this stuff into curriculum description. Yeah, you may laugh because you know that this has been happened before AI. So sometimes teachers do that kind of stuff, and we can't do anything on that. So that's why this is mindset thing, and it's about you. Are you going to do and implement what you can see? This is slightly bigger picture where we have more details from current analysis, and here we can see in more details the yellow cells, which are that there is a matching between the curriculum and goal 7. In this map, these are our production maps, so not presentation maps. We have goal stuff in gray because gray is not SDG color, so every color is the SDG color. And brown is the curriculum color because brown is not the SDG color. So we can get some sort of sense on our visualizations when they are in production mode. Research point of view, if we want to see what is robotics, automation, and AI research 21, and how it is related to certain sustainable development goal. Now we have taken all the open access journals from DOAG and Springer Open and build a mind map about topics that are studied. Now one cell is one topic, and easily you can count that there are some 10,000 topics. And this is how they match to goal number 9, the green cells. I have chosen the colors very wisely, so there are green, blue, and red. Sorry for that. But maybe in the front row, everyone can see that there are quite a few green cells. But this doesn't mean that research is doing bad. This is, once again, opportunity. Because the opportunity is there where we have these blue cells, the opportunities from SDG, no, red cells. Blue is something you are studying, but not the SDG. The red stuff. Opportunities are there where there are not yet activities because no one can solve everything, but everyone can bring their effort to solve the problem together when we make the stuff visible. And this is pretty much the same like I started, that top lists are worth nothing because it's very easy to understand that this is very diversified problem, systemic problem, or should we even call system of systems type of problem. And that's why couple silver bullets doesn't do anything. You have to understand the depth of the problem and the diversity of the different solutions. And that's why making things visible, making things comparable and simulatable is very important. And that's why coloring the world of data, not black and white, do this, don't do that, but helping people to do better decisions. Thanks.